To coincide with the release of other 90th anniversary sets this year, LEGO introduced this set, Forest Hideout, as a gift with purchase back in June and then again in August. This, of course, is a remake of a classic castle set, Forestman's Hideout, originally released in the 80s. So the big question here is, does this thing live up to its 1988 equivalent? Let's take a closer look. The LEGO gift with purchase game has been consistently strong for the last few years, and this does not drop the ball by any means. This is set number 40567. Forest Hideout has a total of 258 pieces. You could have gotten this thing directly from LEGO from June 15th to the 22nd in 2022, and again from August 1st to the 14th. If you spent more than $150 on LEGO.com in any theme. I was originally concerned that this would be something like Yoda or Luke's lightsaber, where you would have to buy a specific kit, naturally the $400 Lion Knight's castle to get it, but this was pretty much available to anyone who was willing to spend $150 on LEGO's website. Much like the Galaxy Explorer and the Lion Knight's castle released this year as well, this is a very strong callback to an earlier period of LEGO's life. Definitely not 90 years ago. We're looking at the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is based off a very, very similar set, Forestman's Hideout, released in 88. While I don't have the original set, I tried to build it back as faithfully as I could with parts from my collection, and I think you can see right here that they've done a really fantastic job of capturing the essence of the original set, and that was perhaps the best surprise of this. The layout is nearly identical, the size is nearly identical, but everything here has been modernized. In fact, I was pretty shocked by the modernization of it all. There was a very clear attempt in my mind to use as many new pieces here as possible to show how far the LEGO Group has come in the past 3+ decades. While the original 88 Forestman's Hideout is a phenomenal set, it's a great building experience, I do think this new version improves upon it in every way. The part selection is fantastic. There's so many fun pieces that have been released in just the last few years that are put to use here. And you'll notice too that the box does say this is an 18+ set. There's nothing particularly complicated about the building techniques on display here. There's some snot construction, but anybody can put this together. But there's something very different about this building experience than your standard $20 LEGO set. There's a lot of small pieces used. There's a lot of excessive detail. It was a much closer experience to building a mock than it was to building a LEGO set, and I think that's why they give it that 18+ ranking. There's simply so much to love here, from the packaging to the contents. The box itself is very classical in its design, harkening back to the LEGO system logo that would have once adorned a package like this. It's all great stuff. It feels so old school, but also very new and refreshing. I was delighted to find I hadn't done the cheap render, but actually took the time to replicate the box art for this one. It makes this a lot more special in my opinion, and sets it apart from just another standard playset, because this is not a standard playset by any means. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I will point out the figures here. Just like the original Forestman's Hideout, this set comes with 2 Forestmen, well, a Forest Man and a Forest Woman. Unfortunately, she does not have an alternate cap, but still great figures. It's a very similar torso, but again, very modernized compared to what you got in 88, which is what you'd expect. There's probably some printing improvements that have taken place in the last 30-some years. This torso is seen again in Lion Knight's castle, but everything else is fairly standard. No new face prints or anything else, just standard green legs. And I mean, just like the original, the set itself is an absolute delight. It folds up in the same way the original does, which makes for a very complete, well-rounded model, but also you can open it up for decent interior space. And again, much like the original, there's not much going on the inside, but I love the addition of the ladder to get up to the top. And there's also a crate filled with some 1x1 rounded plates in pearl gold to represent treasure. When I heard LEGO was going to be remaking this set, I kind of assumed they would stray pretty far from the original, maybe changing up the black wood into a mixture of brown and dark brown as they do in most tree-based sets today. But it's fantastic that the color scheme is perfectly on point. Obviously, light gray has been updated to light bluish gray in this case. The only other thing they've introduced is some bright green leaves instead of the traditional green. There's actually a few more pops of color with the addition of a mushroom and a flower, and the only thing that is missing is the large spruce tree that would have been included with the original. Otherwise, whoever designed this was clearly familiar with the original model and took as much of the charm of this and infused it into this. And because perhaps of the updated pieces that they were able to use, I can pretty confidently say that this new take on the classic set is an improvement and made a perfect set somehow even better. Hopefully you managed to pick this up when it was still running as a gift with purchase. If you are a classic castle fan or just a fan of quality LEGO sets, I would suggest picking this up as soon as possible, as I think we can expect that price to continue to go up and up. Even though it's not been that long since this was offered up for free from Lego.com, the thing goes for about $40 to $50 new on Bricklink already. If you can, I'd totally recommend this one. Snatch it up. It's super fun. It's a beautiful set. It's fun to play with, fun to build. Such a perfect callback to a really iconic point in LEGO's history. I hope we continue to see stuff like this in the future. I'd love to see more remakes. I'm guessing when the 100th anniversary of the LEGO group rolls around, we'll be seeing some pretty extravagant and cool stuff. Hopefully the community's excitement for sets like this might even revive the castle theme in the next few years, but we'll just have to wait and see. As always, thank you for watching. You have yourself a great life, and I'll catch you later.